Yo, what is up guys? Welcome to another Wild Rift video, and in today's video I'll be playing Vayne in the Baron lane. And let me just tell you right now, Vayne is one of the best champions in the new update, and that's all because of this new item Solaris Charge Blade. Vayne, I said it in the tier list that I thought that Vayne would be S tier, but I didn't put her there yet. And let me tell you right now, she is S tier. But you have to play her the right way. I'm actually really good at Vayne, so that's why this is actually going to be a really good and informative video for you to learn how to play Vayne. So in the beginning part of the video, I'm going to explain to you how to build Vayne. If you want to skip to the gameplay, timestamps in the description. So, how do you build Vayne? It's very simple. So you start with a Blade Rune King. You always start with the Blade Rune King because this is always going to be worth it on Vayne. I'm not going to explain why, it's just always worth it. Everything that this item provides to you, just go for the Blade Rune King first. After that, oh, by the way, I'm actually, well, not very sick, I'm just sick. And my voice sounds a little different. I might cough, I might sniff my nose. I'm so sorry, but I want to make a video anyways, right? So I'm so sorry for the inconvenience and if my voice doesn't sound as good as normal. But yeah, so you want to get tier 1 boots after Blade Rune King. You don't actually want to get tier 2 boots yet, because it's just not worth it, because you already have a lot of physical vamp, you don't need even more. So just stick with the tier 1 boots and then immediately build into the Solaris Charge Blade. And after you finish this item, you already enter the late game Vayne. Like, do you guys remember back in the days where you would have to finish 3 items before you would enter the late game Vayne? At least that's what I would say, right? And what I mean with late game Vayne is the Vayne that can absolutely hard carry team fights. But right now, only after 2 items you enter the late game Vayne. With the Blade Rune King and the Solaris Charge Blade, you can already hard carry team fights. And that's what makes Vayne absolutely incredible right now. She's still not very strong in the early game, but I'll tell you how you can compensate for that during the gameplay part. But once you get through that first 2 items, only first 2 items, which should only take you like 8, 9 or 10 minutes, you're already going to be entering the super late game Vayne. So after the Solaris Charge Blade, Infinity Edge. I see some people go for Phantom Dancer or Static Shift. Static Shift is good, but the thing is, Infinity Edge just provides more raw damage. Like, Static Shift is good for burst damage because it gives you the thunder, but if you want raw 1v1 damage, the Infinity Edge is going to be way better. It's going to be infinitely better. Okay, there's a reason that I'm not a comedy channel. Okay, so for your 4th item, Cyrilda's Grudge. I'd never recommend you to go for Mortal Reminder on Vayne anymore, because this item is literally built for Vayne. It gives you 40 attack damage, it gives you 15 abilities, the armor penetration of course, and damaging abilities and empowered attacks. They slow enemies for 30%. Every time you use your first ability, it's an empowered attack. So whenever you use your first ability, you're gonna slow the enemy after you hit them by 30% for 1 second. That makes Cyrilda's Grudge absolutely broken on Vayne, guys. And as your last item, I actually have Guardian Angel here, but I would actually never recommend you to go Guardian Angel. Where is the item? Phantom Dancer, yeah. Phantom Dancer is always going to be better because it provides you crit, it provides you attack speed, and it provides you the lifeline, which is actually better than the Guardian Angel because your ultimate already makes you invisible, and in the late game you really shouldn't die as a Vayne. So Phantom Dancer is going to be pretty much the best item that you can get in the late game. If you want even more damage and you feel like you don't need the Phantom Dancer, you can also build the Static Shift, but I don't recommend it. Phantom Dancer is just really good on Vayne, guys. Oh, by the way, about the enchant, the boots, you always get Glutinous Greaves. No, not always. Sorry. In 80% of the games, you get Glutinous Greaves. And in 15% of the games, you get Mercury's Threats. If you're against a lot of CC, you have to get Mercury's Threats on Vayne, because if you get stun locked, you are dead. You're gonna get wrecked. So if you're against a Galio, Ari, Pantheon, Twisted Faith, champions like that, get the Mercury's Threats on Vayne, guys. You really need it. Don't skip them out. And if you're against a full attack damage composition, you can also buy Plated Steel Caps, because they're just going to provide you so much value against a full attack damage composition. And against the full attack damage composition, you can actually build the Guardian Angel last item, just because it gives you armor. So yeah. Oh, and for the enchantments, Stasis Enchant. I actually always go for Stasis Enchant. You could go for Quicksilver Enchant. I don't recommend it. I just feel like Quicksilver sucks. but it could be good if you're against like heavy CC champions like Twisted Faith, as I said, because if he stuns you, you can just get out of the stun with the Quicksilver. But Stasis Enchant is generally gonna be better. Okay, let's now talk about the runes. So for your first rune, I always actually go for Conqueror. I do see some people go for Fleet Footwork. I don't like it on Vayne because Conqueror guys, Conqueror is going to give you so much damage, especially in that late game. Fleet Footwork is basically made to allow you to survive in the early game. But I'll tell you how you can do that anyways during the gameplay part of the video. You really don't need the Fleet Footwork, guys. For my second rune, I go for Hunter Vampirism. This is like a mid-late game rune. And you can go for Gathering Storm, but the thing is, Hunter Vampirism just provides more value because of the Vampirism. Vampirism is really good on Vayne, guys. So I always go for Hunter Vampirism on Vayne. I never recommend Brutal because you're not going to be that strong early game anyways, and just don't go for Brutal, guys. It's not worth it. The 2% armor penetration, Vayne doesn't care about armor penetration really, so no. Well, she does care, but it's just not worth it. So you either want to go for Hunter Vampirism or Gathering Storm. Go for Gathering Storm if you just want super giga broken late game damage. Go for Hunter Vampirism if you want big damage in the mid game, decent damage in the late game, and the Vampirism, which is really good. For my third rune, I actually always go for Hunter Titan. Always. No exception really. It's just enemies always have some sort of CC, so I always go for Hunter Titan on Vayne. You really need it. And for my fourth rune, I go for Sweet Tooth, because Sweet Tooth is broken. For my spells, Barrier and Flash. Always Barrier and Flash. Because yeah, Barrier, you know, you just want to survive on Vayne. So enough about this, and let's get into the gameplay. Alright, on to the gameplay. So I immediately want to talk about when to pick Vayne. Because this is basically the biggest part of being S tier. Because let me tell you one thing right now. If you pick Vayne either into the wrong composition or against the wrong composition, it's garbage. It's actually garbage. So let me tell you why. I personally play Vayne in the Baron lane. I know I don't see anyone play Vayne in the Baron lane. I don't understand why, because it's so incredibly good. So let me tell you, what was I gonna say? Yeah, when you pick Vayne in the Baron lane, make sure at least one of your teammates is a tank. Because let me explain to you why. In the Baron lane, normally people pick like tanky champions, right? Like Garen, Darius, Nasus, Jax, whatever, right? Fiora. At least champions that can tank up some damage. Obviously, Vayne is not a tank, guys. So you can see in my team, we have a Braum. I asked him actually in the draft, yo man, are you gonna pick a tanky support? He was like, yeah, I'm gonna pick Braum. And only then I picked Vayne in the Baron lane. About playing Vayne in the bot lane as an ADC, obviously it's also good. Let me give you a quick tip about when to pick it. So it's if the enemy picks a support that's either Alistar or Braum or another melee support, Vayne becomes S tier, guys. It already becomes S tier regardless of the ADC that the enemy has. If the enemy has a melee support, just pick Vayne because you're gonna absolutely demolish them. Well, I mean, actually, it also depends on what other champions the enemies have, right? Because if they have an Evelynn, for example, it's really hard to deal with as a Vayne. If they have an Akali, Katarina, champions like that, it's really hard to deal with as a Vayne. Generally, Vayne is good against melee champions that cannot burst her down. So take a look at the enemy composition. Wukong, we have Shyvana, we have Irelia, and we have Gragas. These are 4 champions that Vayne is really good against. So obviously I picked Vayne. And I want to say that drafting Vayne the right way is actually half of the work already with Vayne, really. If you pick her in the wrong draft, she's gonna become so much worse. So okay, enough about the draft, let's now actually talk about how to play Vayne. So here you can see why I love Baron lane Vayne, right? I made a Baron lane Vayne video earlier too, but I just wanted to do it again. It's just because I really prefer Baron lane Vayne over ADC Vayne. It's my personal preference. So here, Wukong is so low, but the Shyvana's here as well. I should be fine. I have my ultimate, I have everything, I have my third ability. Your third ability is basically the best anti-ganking ability. So if the enemy jungler goes on you, boom, you use your third ability and you push them away. And so the way that you want to trade with Vayne, trade as in deal damage to the enemy and take damage yourself, is always hit 3 basic attacks in a row. If you don't do this, you're you're basically guaranteed gonna lose the trade. Unless, of course, you just trade like one attack. But always hit 3 attacks in a row. Don't only do 2, or don't, like, you know, just try to hit 3 in a row. That's where your power comes. So you can see, boom, boom, and boom. There it was. But you can see that I'm actually struggling against this Wukong right now, because we're pretty early on in the game. And even though I'm actually pretty strong against melee matchups, you can see that early game Vayne is actually quite weak, guys. So even though you can actually punish the enemy quite effectively under his turret, if he goes in on you like all in, you're not really going to be able to respond effectively against him in the early game, at least, right? Only in the early game. In the late game you can. So keep that in mind. You shouldn't overestimate your damage in the early game. All you want to do is farm safely and poke the enemy, right? You want to make his life hell in lane, like the Wukong, or if you're against a Garen, or if you're against a Fiora, champions like that. But you want to be careful of all-in commitments, because you are not ready for that if you don't have your Blade of the Rune King, guys. You're just not ready for it. 1 second. By the way, guys, if you want to see more Vayne, give this video a like. If this video... Oh, I juked him. There it is. So that's another thing that you can do with the ultimate. Obviously, the ultimate is a really good all-in tool, because it gives you bonus movement speed, it gives you bonus attack damage, and it gives you invisibility on the first ability. But the invisibility is also really good to run away in situations like that. You saw that already. I was actually diving me. She would have killed me. I just used my ultimate to become invisible. And when you're invisible, no one can hit you. So sometimes it's definitely not the ideal way to use your ultimate. But sometimes you actually have to just escape, right? So there you saw that I had to use it to escape. Here I have to be a bit careful, because as I said, I'm still early game Vayne. Oh, yeah. It's still worth it. We got the Infernal Dragon. It's true that some of us died, but this is totally worth it. Totally, absolutely worth it. The Infernal Dragon is the most important dragon when you're playing Vayne, really, because that 6% bonus damage is gonna scale really hard into the late game, guys. So at this point, I got my Blade of the Rune King. And when you get your Blade of the Rune King, and when you're like level 7, level 8, you are gonna be like way stronger than the early game. You should be able to win all in 1v1s at this point. So if the enemy Wukong would all in me right now, I should win, unless I screw it up. So this is basically kind of a turning point of Vayne, guys. When you get that Blade of the Rune King, you want to be a bit more aggressive, and you should know, because Vayne, it's really important on Vayne to know what you can and what you cannot do. And obviously, honestly, this comes with practice. So let's take a look at this. Here, look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Here. Boom. Ooh. I actually almost juked the Shyvana as well, but there I just got the kill. I saw the Shyvana, so I just flashed in and took the kill, because I thought that, yeah, I was like, yeah, I just want to get a kill. And the reason that I did that is because it's okay if the Wukong gets fat, but if I get fat, I'm gonna hard carry the game. So with a Vayne, it's actually totally worth it to trade kills like that, right? Where you kill the enemy and get killed yourself. This was totally worth it, and I even burned my flash for it, because I wanna get fat. You should only care about yourself when you're playing Vayne. Try to get as many kills as you can, try to farm up as hard as you can, and even if you die for it in a 1v1, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Here, you know, I'm taking jungle as well. Just take as much farm as you can, really, on Vayne. And let me tell you something about the second ability too, because this is perhaps an ability that can really excel your Vayne game. This ability obviously gives you, well, it's not obvious, sorry. This ability gives you bonus attack speed, and it heals you up for the next 3 attacks. You want to use this ability whenever the enemy dives you, or when you dive the enemy. Like when you feel like you're going to be able to guaranteed hit 3 attacks on the enemy, that's when you use the second ability. Because you're going to be able to deal a lot. Here, look. He's getting closer to me. I use my second ability. Boom, 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 and boom. You can see that the bonus attack speed saved my life here. This is all because of the second ability. If I hadn't used my second ability there, I would have just died. So you can also clearly see that I was joking him with the ultimate. This is also a very important thing. So when you use your ultimate, your first ability becomes different. See, normally with your first ability, you just roll. But with your ultimate, it's like a one, I think it's 1.5 seconds where you become invisible. You can cancel this invisibility by basic attacking the enemy, but you can also just hold it. And if you hold it, you can reposition yourself and you can completely juke the enemy with it. And this is such a powerful tool, guys. Please, when you use your ultimate, don't spam your first ability. Just like, obviously sometimes it's going to be good if you want to deal as much damage as possible. But sometimes if there's like 4 enemies around you, you just want to take it easy, become invisible, reposition yourself and continue. And that's what you can do with the ultimate. So here I can get the Solaris Charge Blade. Honestly, I didn't even want to fight. I just wanted to go back, get the Solaris Charge Blade, and here, this is where it goes like this. The power of Vayne. I didn't even go back. Oh, I didn't go back because I saw that he was a free kill, but unfortunately the Braum took it. So yeah, why am I not going back? Our jungler died. Oh, because yeah, we can attack it and wait for our jungler to come. He's gonna be a bit earlier than the Gragas. Oh, and yeah, look at this. Just look at this. Whenever you catch out an enemy on Vayne, he's dead. He's just dead. So the Shyvana tried to face check here, but she forgot that she's against a Vayne. Vayne can just kill you. Vayne will kill you. So when you play Vayne, you always want to look for these things where an enemy champion might face check. Because if you catch only one champion, so if his teammates are not around, he is guaranteed that pretty much any champion you're going to be able to kill. Pretty much any champion, unless it's a champion like Zed or something that can completely one-shot you. But with your ultimate, you can still dodge Zed's stuff, right? So these are the powers of Vayne. You really want to play your champion to his powers. And the powers of Vayne are 1v1s, catching out enemies, obviously getting to the late game, things like that. But her weaknesses are the early game. Her other weaknesses are stuns, roots, charms, basically CC. So these are the 2 things that you really want to avoid on Vayne. And the way that you can avoid CC is like letting your team go in, for example. So the enemy burns their CC abilities on your teammates and then you go in. So if the enemy has a lot of CC, you generally don't want to be the initiator, right? Just look at it, this damage, man. So you want to let your team initiate, and then after they burn their CC, you want to go in. Vayne is really complicated, guys. They're trying to fight me. I become invisible, I get a kill. Oh, kinda close. Kinda close. He just has an ignite, which is really annoying to deal with as a Vayne, because it reduces my healing. He just went on the wrong Wukong, man. That's hilarious. Oh, man, I'm so sorry for the I'm like so sick right now, so I'm probably making weird noises in the video, but yeah, you understand why. By the way, in the month of August, I'm also doing a skin giveaway. I'm giving away 10 skins on my YouTube channel and 5 skins on my Instagram. All you gotta do to enter the Instagram giveaway is put down a comment and like all my posts, and well, you don't have to do it with all the posts, but you're just gonna increase your chances. It's basically the same as YouTube, right? I'm just giving away skins for this. So yeah, if you have Instagram and you're interested in me, check it out. What was I gonna say? I had something. Oh, yeah. So about the new build, I forgot to tell you one more thing about the new build, which is ability haste. When you reach the very late game and you have like 4 or 5 items, I think your ultimate is gonna be on like a 16-second cooldown. I'm pretty sure it's 16 seconds. Just look at this. Look at this, man. What is that? And look at the healing as well. But what is this damage? Do you think he can kill me? Of course he can't. What is that? I don't even continue. Just look at this damage, man. Look at this damage. 2 items. I have 2 items. I only have 2 items, guys. I want to remind you that this is 2-item Vayne. What is wrong with this item? Solaris Charge Blade is so damn broken on Vayne. Because Solaris Charge Blade, whenever you use an ability, you get that bonus, right? And with Vayne, you obviously spam your first ability. So you're gonna get so much out of that Solaris Charge, which is just completely worth it. And as I said, when you finish all your items, you're gonna have an insane amount of ability haste. So you're gonna be able to spam your ultimate so often. It's actually insane how often you can spam your ultimate. And that's also what's going to be another power in the late game. You're literally going to be unbeatable because you're always going to have your ultimate in the late game. It's like you're actually unbeatable with the new Vayne. If you reach late game, you are going to be unbeatable. And honestly, I kind of want to change the style of the video right now into just enjoying the gameplay at this point, right? Let's just watch what the hell is gonna happen in the late game of this game, right? Let's just enjoy the game. So here I catch out the Wukong. Oh, he actually juked me, wow. But as I said, whenever you catch out one enemy, it's very easy to demolish them. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Look, I'm in the middle of the enemy, what is this? Just killed 3 enemies just like that. As if it's nothing. This is the ultimate, guys. This is what the ultimate does. It makes you invisible. And you like they just can't hit you when you're invisible, guys. How stupid is that? And there's gonna be an even crazier team fight, by the way, in this game. And oh, you're gonna enjoy the team fight. You probably saw it in the highlight already, but seeing it in real time is gonna be even better, guys. And honestly, Vayne is one of my favorite champions to play in the Baron lane. It's just so fun to play, guys. And honestly, I want to see more Baron lane Vayne in my games. Well, I don't know why no one is playing it. I'm just gonna make another video with it right now, right? With Baron lane Vayne. And I want to see more of it because it's so strong. It's just so strong. And by the way, if you guys are enjoying this video, it's a bit late, but give the video a like. Yeah, give the video a like and that'll help the channel, right? So it's kind of funny because champions like Shyvana are completely utterly useless against Vayne because they can't do anything, they can't CC you. It's just so... Here, let's take a look at this. Just look. All you gotta do is look and tell me that this is balanced. Guys, tell me right now. Tell me that this is balanced. Tell me. 3 item Vayne. This is not even 4 or 5 items. This is 3 item Vayne in the new update. 3 items. Tell me this is balanced. No, you cannot tell me. I know you can't. I know. Because it is not balanced. Baron lane Vayne, baby. And ADC Vayne is also strong, but it's just I prefer Baron lane Vayne myself. I really like playing Baron lane Vayne. Is the game over here? Yeah, the game is over. Yeah. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was really fun to play Vayne, to record a video. And I just really hope you guys are going to be playing more Vayne in the, after this video, right? Because the champion is just so insane. Let's see how much damage I actually dealt in this game. Because I'm kind of curious. Obviously I got the MVP. I almost dealt 30k damage. Damn. So thank you guys very much for watching. I'm gonna go take a nap and eat something. And yeah, I will see you all in the next Wild Rift video. Bye bye.